Hey crafty friends, Anat Kessler here with Saturday Extravaganza, and today I'm creating another inspiring canvas for my wall of inspiration. It has been a while since I have created one and I feel like creating a new one. So this is a 4x6 canvas, and what I'm going to do is cover it with some tissue paper, and I'm using gel medium as usual to glue this tissue paper down to the canvas. It also seals it and makes it easier to add all kinds of paints or sprays or whatever we're going to put on top of it. So I'm going to spread it around with a brush and on the edges too, on all the sides as well. And then we can go ahead and put that down. It's very thin paper, as you know, so I'm adding another layer of gel medium on top, and that will seal it. And then it will not absorb anything or any medium that we are going to put on it. So for the corners, just fold them like you would if you wrap a present, and that way you will have that nice professional looking finish, because I want all the sides to be covered. I don't want to tear it or you know, cut it. Just wrap it all around. Another corner. The gel medium is really sticky, so after you're done, it's always the best thing to just go ahead and wash your brush, because if you leave the brush with all the gel medium, you will have to throw it away, because after it dries there is no getting it off the brush. So I'm going to glue the tissue paper even on a little bit on the back. That will hold it very securely, and the sides will look covered. So all the way to the back. Doesn't have to be nice, but just make sure it's glued properly. And then the entire canvas will be completely wrapped and will look really nice, like a small present. So I'm just getting rid of excess tissue paper and arranging the corners and the back, and then we will be ready to go. Of course, this should be dried completely before you go ahead and add stuff on it, or paint or color or whatever. Okay, so now my fingers are sticky, the brush is completely sticky. I'm going to wash it and come back. Okay, drying it a little bit, and we are ready to go ahead and continue. So what I'm going to do is pick 4 colors of gelatos, and what I'm going to do with them is arrange them. This is the order, and I'm going to apply them on my canvas, but in a square shape. So I'm going to basically create a background from 4 different colors in square shapes, and I'm spreading it around with my finger. And since there is a gel medium on the paper and the paper is sealed, then I can smear these gelatos and they can cover a lot of space. They just keep on going, and they blend really beautiful together. If you work with gelatos on a porous surface, like paper that is not gessoed or not sealed with gel medium, then they will behave a bit differently, and they will not cover so much of the space, and they will be much less flexible, so to speak. Doing the sides now. So gelatos work best when they're applied on a surface that is non-porous, because this way they're not absorbed. So you see, I'm just using my hand. There is no water, no nothing, just the moisture and oil on my fingers are enough to just spread this around, and it's really like butter. It just goes on, and it's amazing. Okay, so this is my background. Actually, this is pretty as it is. I would hang this on my wall. This is really cool. So I have here a blank piece of just plain white paper that I'm just gonna draw a grid with all the 4 colors that I used on the canvas. It doesn't have to be nice or something. You can scribble, you can do circles, it doesn't matter. And this paper is not covered by gesso or by anything. I'm just spritzing it a little bit with water, and I am going in with a baby wipe just to mute it down, to just make it a little less visible. Not visible, but sharp. But you see that this paper is not covered in anything, not gesso or gel medium. So you see that the smearing of the gelatos is much less. They don't go as far as they would or they have on the canvas. So you can see the difference. So I've dried it, and I'm just cutting it the same size as my little canvas. Doesn't have to be straight or anything. And what I want to do now is cut 4 squares, more rectangles, and actually they're a bit long. I think I'm going to shorten them a little bit, all of them. They don't have to be straight. We're going to cut letters from them, and the reason that I created that grid of gelatos is I wanted them to be basically the same background colors as the canvas. So what I'm going to do is cut out the word open. So 4 letters, 4 squares, and each letter I'm going to doodle on it, create like a zentangle and a pattern, and just have fun with it, you know. I'm using a black Posca pen, which is really great for writing on just about anything, acrylic paints, gelatos, anything. You see me press it, you saw me press it before, because that brings out the ink that you need. So when you doodle like this, there is no point in pre-planning a pattern or, you know, something specific. You just start the pen, you just start drawing with the pen, and wherever the pen goes, you just follow, and you should be happy with whatever comes out, because I basically never know what I'm going to draw. I'm just adding shapes, and you know, whatever happens happens. So I'm just cutting the middle part of the O and coloring some of the parts. And now for the P. So like I was saying, it doesn't really matter what you draw. You can draw lines, flowers, hearts, leaves, dots, circles, squares, letters, whatever you want. You don't need to know how to draw. You just need a little bit of imagination and a non-fear attitude. Just go in with your pen and have fun. and it doesn't matter what comes out, it's beautiful because you did it, right? So you can get some ideas from what I'm doing, and feel free to do the same. Now for the E, and I don't care that the letters are not even and they're not exactly the same size and the lines may be a bit crooked. That's my point. The point is just to have the letters and make them pretty with all kinds of crazy shapes, or not so crazy. And just don't think, just doodle. So I'm going on with my doodling here, and what I like to do is fill as much of the space as possible. So you create larger shapes and smaller shapes and really tiny shapes in between, and then you can cover all the space. And the fun part is that even if you were using just one pen, which in this case is black, then you can create all kinds of shapes, and then by coloring some of them, then you get you get more dimension and more interest in the shapes. So you can fill them, or you can half fill them, or you can do like a circle with a pattern inside, more circles, or plaid or lines or whatever, and then you just color inside some of the lines or some of the dots or some of the plaid, and then you get your pattern. See, for instance, here I'm just coloring some of the lines in between the lines, and that creates a much more interesting pattern. And if this is too small for you, like the letters are too small, you can practice on a larger piece of paper just to get your ideas and your style and what you like, and then move ahead and do it on the letters. Okay, so I'm going to glue the letters to the canvas, and you see how they almost blend in the background. We are going to make them pop a bit later, and the idea here is open, and we can open a lot of things this year. We can open our hearts, we can open our minds, we can open our ears, our eyes, we can open the door to so many possibilities. Each one of us will find the thing that needs to be open. So I'm going to put this canvas on my wall of inspiration in front of my eyes, and then I'll remember to open whatever it is I need to open. So I'm using Artist Big Brush Pen to shade and to add a frame to each of the letters, and that would make them pop. Now the great thing about this kind of pen is that this is Indian ink, so you have a few seconds before it dries, then you can use your finger and smear it a little bit. And these are really good for shading, or and they blend also. They blend really well together, the colors. So these are really fun. Of course, you need to do this again, like the gelatos, on a surface that is prepped with gesso or with gel medium, something that seals the surface and makes it non-porous, because if you go ahead and just do it on a plain piece of paper, it would not work. I mean, they're great markers, but they will not give you that smearing effect and that blending effect that you want. Okay, hope that made sense to you guys. So I am just going around the letters, and you can already see how they pop since we've given them a frame. And I'm going to go in with a lighter green, this is almost a yellow, and just color a little bit inside, just a few of the shapes inside my letters. just a few that will make them pop even more. Just a bit here and there. This is like a coloring book. It's so relaxing. Okay, and I'm going to go in with another color. I'm going to go in with some blue around the edges also. Make it pop even more. Make the frame even stronger. So it will really, the letters will really be visible. So with the shade, it's like on Photoshop when you add shade to something, it really makes it pop. And also color some of the shapes on the letters, the one that I drew. Again, it will make it pop even more. So this is a really fun and simple canvas to do. And of course you can do it in a larger scale if you want to. And you can write a whole quote. I'm just going to go around the edges of the canvas to give it that frame. And the canvas will be finished. So I really like it. This is going to go up on my wall of inspiration, which I need to show you one day. It's coming along. And I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. I want to thank everyone for watching and joining me today. Please make sure to visit my website, anatKessler.com. You'll have a link at the end of the video. And I want to wish everyone a really happy, healthy, successful new year. Make this the best year ever. So thanks very much for joining me. Thanks for everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.